But it's really important. So the game that's actually being played versus what you think is being done. When we go invest, so let's say that Isaac wants to start a company. And he's like, hey, Moses, I want to start a company. Could you invest in me? I have taken a whole year to save my 50K or 100K, whatever it is, right? And then I give that to Isaac. What have I just done? I've literally given Isaac all my assets, right? Like everything I have, right? Now go to Shark Tank. The guys on Shark Tank, the average net worth there is like $860 million. It's like stupid money, right? What's the size of the check that they sign? $500,000? It's not big, right? What I'm bringing out is what they're actually doing. Even though it's a lot of, like $500,000 to me is, oh my gosh, that's money. Even in Kenya shillings, that's money. You make it dollars, holy cow, right? But for them, it's a small part of their portfolio, right? For them, even if that $500,000 goes, it doesn't show up in the scheme of assets. It's a small drop, right? What's really important there is knowing that you can own, across all the things you own, you need to split that money up into how much goes into crazy Shark Tank-like stuff, you know, your Bitcoin, your Isaac's company, which could be a great company, your whatever it is, and which of that goes into safer, what my sister would call more boring stuff, right? And I want to start by telling you a story. So you guys all heard about Bitcoin last year, right? It did really well. Guys made a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. You know, at some point we were selling for like $20,000. Some people did very well, right? Now, we'd been watching, all of us actually, had been watching Bitcoin for years. And we're like, this thing, no. And then last year I was like, it's growing like crazy. And it looks like anyone can make money on this thing, you know. So this is like, and you know, we started again with all our credentials and all that stuff, but we got like stuck in that sauce. We're like, yo, what's happening here? So the funny thing about Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these cryptos. So Bitcoin is one everyone knows. There's another one called Ethereum. It's a really good platform, blah, 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 right? You can see some guys running at the back, they're into crypto. So if you saw the price of all the cryptocurrency stuff, it was typically doing this. Like it was going up, then maybe it would tumble a bit, then it would go up, then it tumbles, then it goes up, right? Which is why there was so much hype. Everyone's like, bruh, you can't lose money. Wait for it to dip Kidogo and then buy it, right? So at some point, it's been years of this trend. At some point, I believe this story. So I will not forget the day, May 7th, 2018. You can look it up later. Because May 7th, 2018 is the day that Ethereum never went back up. Like, I literally bought at the peak and it crashed. And I remember talking to Stone about this before and like, bro, like this thing it's too crazy, I'm gonna put some money in. So I put some money, he's like, did you? I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you how it goes. We didn't talk about it for months. So I'm like, bro. But the reason this is such an important day for me is, what if I had put in all my assets? Like, you go, like, I bought it at 500 pounds, it went down to like 200. Like, I lost 300 like that, right? What if, so, you know, that's my money shrinking. Like, if that was 100,000, that is shrinking from 100,000 to, what's that? To 40,000. Like that. If it was $1 million, 400K, right? And why I bring this up is that every time you invest a portion of your life. Because you had to give your life, you had to give years of your time to get this money. So every time you invest, you should measure it against that. And how much of my life am I willing to give up for this thing, right? Which is why, thank you so much. Which is, just leave them, it's all good. That's what happens when you speak passionately with a book, eh? And take lots of paper notes. So 2 big lessons before you do presentations. Let's just ignore them for now, yeah? But that's why it's so important to think through how much of your portfolio you're dedicating to a thing, right? And this brings us, it's jumping off the budgeting point. When she talked about zero-based budgeting, the way that I think about it is that break all your money into thousands. Because when in Kenya, the biggest note is thousands. If you live in a country where it's hundreds, like whatever it is. Whatever the biggest note is, break all your money into that note, right? And ask yourself, what is my plan for every 1,000? Or every $100, or whatever it is, right? And what that then lets you do is say, okay, cool. For every 1,000 that I get, half I'll spend, the budgeting thing we talked about earlier, so half I'll spend, half I'll save, or whatever your rule is, right? Of the half that I'm saving, you know, I'm obviously saving it to invest it because I need things in the future, I want things in the future, right? Of that half, so now let's call that half 500 because it was 1,000. Easy math. I'm only gonna dedicate 100 bob of this 500 to risky stuff. So this is where I scratch that Bitcoin itch. This is where if my friend comes, is like, oh, hey Moses, I want you to invest in this thing. You only have 100 bob to invest. You don't have 500, right? So 100 bob is 20% of 500, right? What that then means is that if you have 100,000 after a year or a month, I don't know how much you make, but if you have 100,000, then you can only invest 20K in that asset class. That asset class could be risky stuff. It's a really broad asset class. And among risky stuff could be, your venture capital investing, or you're investing in friends, or your Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever it is. That way, even if that stuff goes sideways, you're still fine because 80% went into stable stuff that's growing, right? And a really big thing is, I would honestly tell you, never invest in venture capital because it's a really hard asset class, blah, blah, blah. Most of you won't listen. So what I will tell you instead is know yourself. And if you know that you have a tendency to do stuff like that, allocate it. If you know you have a tendency to want to invest in your friend's stuff, allocate that money so that you have a plan and you dedicate the bulk of your portfolio to other stuff that's safe, stable, that'll give you a good growth rate, right? Going back to your remember what Lorraine was saying earlier around you have money now and you need to go at a certain rate. So that's kind of what you're really watching. And when you make sure that 80% of your money is sitting in stuff you can predict, and there's a wide range of this stuff from treasury bills to money market funds, and happy to talk about what all that stuff is and how it works. But when you know that the bulk of your money sits there, then you're covered. Even if this other stuff goes south and you're not panicking about will I be able to buy a house in 5 years, you will, or in 10 years, or whenever your plan was. Make sense?